It's the peak of high summer here on the homestead, which means that for us, it's tomato season. Today we're going to make a lovely caprese salad with fresh mozzarella and wood-fired ciabatta. You can find these recipes in the show notes below the video or get beautiful printable versions by joining the free newsletter below. Tomatoes and I have a funny history. Growing up, they were one of the only foods that I absolutely could not stand, at least in their raw form. My grandpa would grow tomatoes in his small garden, and my mom and sister would anxiously anticipate the first harvest from the garden. He would slice up the tomatoes, indulge in something that he thought was absolutely delicious, and I would jokingly gag. Luckily, my palate has changed, and tomatoes are now the one vegetable, besides eggplant, that I live for in the garden. They're the king, and they get all the space and all the attention. Each day we harvest and tend to our little plants, happily gathering up our bounty. Today we brought in the daily harvest of tomatoes, and I knew it was time for the first caprese salad of the season. I'm not Italian by heritage, but I am by heart, and that's one of the many reasons I bring Buona Fortuna into my kitchen. We're having a special summer of living Italian, and we'd love for you to join us. There's a special link for you to shop with below. Buona Fortuna makes it possible to stock your pantry with dried heirloom grain pastas, cold-pressed olive oils, the olive oils, aged balsamic vinegars, a variety of the very best tomato sauces, biscotti, almonds, pistachios, even pestos and tapenades. Their pasta is made with heirloom grains and grown organically. Buona Fortuna is working hard to offer something perfect to the world. Nestled among the Sicilian mountains, the farm is producing high-quality traditional Italian cuisine. I've got a special link for you to shop with below. Enjoy shopping for these wonderful Italian pantry staples, and you'll soon fall in love with Buona Fortuna like I have. Enjoy. Growing up, I also had a problem with mozzarella. Unless it was melted on a pizza, I was very uninterested in this very soft and very mild cheese. Years later, when I tasted fresh mozzarella, I fell in love. Today was a day that I also needed to work through an excess of milk from our dairy cow. In the summertime, I do not want to stand over a warm cheese pot for hours, and so I make this quick mozzarella often. It takes me about 20 minutes from start to finish. But don't worry, you can make a delicious caprese salad with fresh mozzarella from the store. No dairy cow required. Stuart and I are so busy on the farm these days that it seems more and more difficult to sneak away into town for a quiet night together. The result is that we end up cooking for ourselves and enjoying date nights in. This usually always includes cooking something over a flame because it's a piece of our kitchen that Stuart absolutely enjoys. And whatever we happen to bring in from the garden or farmyard that day gets included. You may notice that the tomatoes I'm using for my caprese salad are Paesano and Sun Gold tomatoes, and not the typical large heirloom varieties that one uses in a caprese salad. We primarily grow Paesano tomatoes, which is like a San Marzano, and it's great for homemade passata. This is our tomato priority, so this is what we grow. We also grow a few heirloom plants for prime fresh eating, which are just now beginning to blush. So we're gonna eat these Paesano and Sun Gold tomatoes in the meanwhile. On the surface, a caprese salad is little more than tomatoes, mozzarella, basil, and the trimmings, in this case, Buona Fortuna olive oil and Buona Fortuna aged balsamic vinegar, salt, and pepper. But add on what you'd like. My mom often adds peppers and onions onto hers as well, but this is the perfect example of what Italian food does so well. The ingredients are simple, but fresh. They're eaten at the peak of flavor in their perfect season. They're adorned with little more than fat and acid to bring out their beautiful flavors, and they're served fresh to people you love. So while we're a far cry from fancy restaurants, this is what I would choose over and over again. A garden to put my hands to, seasons that change our plates, appreciation for simple pleasures, good wine, and wonderful people to share the table with. Oh, and don't worry about the kids. They had a lovely and special time in the kitchen at their own fancy date night table. These moments, beautiful food, they don't just happen. They're cultivated and delicious. Cheers.